Guys, Marvel Snap released today. Now, have you guys heard of Marvel Snap?
I have not.
It's so fucking good, dude. It is Hearthstone, but in Marvel form, and it only takes 6 turns, so every game's like 5 minutes. So instead of playing one game in like 30 minutes and maybe winning, maybe losing, I can go like 6 to 7 games in 30 minutes and feel like a badass because I always win.
It makes me think of that Marvel game you were playing for a while, though, on the PlayStation that you were really into.
Avengers?
Yes, you were super in Iron Man for a long time, and then you're just like, I'm not feeling this game anymore, and dropped it.
Well, you're only saying that that's similar because it's also Marvel. There's plenty of things I've dropped before, and
it's true.
There's plenty of things I've dropped before. Marvel Snap is a mobile game, so it's like this is one of those things you play for a while, maybe like a month or two, and then it's like, all right, I'm kind of burnt out. I mean, you wouldn't know much about this, Drew, because you don't burn out of your game. You play one game for 3 years.
That is crazy, just the amount of dedication and loyalty that you have to Dead by Daylight, because I've never done something like that for so long.
Now you can play any game you want. Anyone listening, anything you want out there. There's a million games you could play. Or you could try multiple of them if you want to be a lame-o. Or you can pick one. And no matter how much you hate that game, play the crap out of it until you're the absolute best at that game.
You're miserable.
I have to walk back my previous statement all of a sudden because I just realized, and Seth, you have to as well. We only play D&D.
Well, that's different. D&D isn't a game. It's real life.
No, it is a game, and there's a lot of other tabletop RPGs that we could be playing.
Zach. No. Here's my defense for that is that in a tabletop RPG, like, there's a lot of steps. You know what I mean? Like, I can learn the D&D system and kind of do it at, like, the 5e system or, like, whatever the one D&D system is going to be and do whatever I want with it, right? Like, okay, we can just kind of make this work. We like the high fantasy vibes. We like, if we want to do our high fantasy vibe, that's fine. Dark fantasy is even in there. There's a lot we just have to accomplish with it, and we have said in the past that, eventually we might want to try something else out. We just haven't done it because I'd still say we're in our infancy with D&D. You know what I mean?
You think so?
Or maybe we're toddlers at this point with infancy. Or not with D&D.
We're toddlers?
We're toddlers at this point with D&D because, like, what? We're 4 or 5 years into our D&D journey. And, there's just so much more to do.
Could you imagine as an adult looking down at a small coffee table and there's just 4 toddlers just rolling dice trying to play D&D, having no idea how anything works? That would be hysterical.
Are you talking about my children, my personal children? Because that's what they'll be doing.
Oh, absolutely. We all have to raise our children in a D&D cult. We have to raise them on D&D.
Dude, yeah, my children will have as much D&D stuff as I do right now whenever we get to that point because they'll be so in love with it. Like, their first, like, what's their passy will be a D20.
They're passy.
Yeah. I think we have to say this on the show. Do not put a D20 in your baby's mouth.
No.
I'm pretty sure it would choke.
No, do it. I don't have kids. I just teach them.
That's true. You work with kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And no.
You just put rocks in their mouths when they're acting bad?
I am the person at this table most qualified to shit on children, okay? Because I am around them 24/7. And you know what I get all the time? Coach Seth, I need you to do this. Coach Seth, that ring's too high for me. Can you pick me up? Coach Seth. Yeah, that's all I get all the time. I mean, some of them are teenagers and they don't speak like that, but still.
I think you should run a game for him.
Coach Seth, get out of my business.
No, I get that sometimes because I'll tell a kid, like, hey, I need you to do this. And they're like, I can't do that. And I'm like, what? No, I'm having you try it because it's too hard for you. And they're like, no, I can't do it. So why would I do it? And I'm like, because if you can't do this and you start to get better at this, then whenever you see something that's easier than this, it's going to be easy as shit.
And then eventually you'll get good enough to do it.
Yeah, and then eventually you'll get good enough to do the other thing. Like, but I still have kids to this day, most of them 12 and 13-year-olds, who are like, why? Like, why would I do that? Like, why, bro?
I feel like those are things you could do, right? You could go to any gym, or you could try to get swole and try something that, you could very well possibly fail. Or you could do something for years like play Pokemon Go. If you play that for about 3 years, I hear you can catch approximately 75,000 Pokemon in your Pokemon career. And think about all the different things you could do with that. You could throw Pokeballs, Great Balls, Ultra Balls, Master Balls, Timer Balls, Repeat Balls, Dusk Balls.
And you still haven't caught them all.
No, I'm still going. They have to release more. I did just catch some Super Beasts last week, so it's no
Ultra
big deal.
Beasts.
No, they're Super Beasts. They're Super Beasts.
You've been
This is the
playing
man that
Pokemon
plays
Go.
Pokemon Go. This is the guy.
I'm new. I've only been playing for like 3 years.
And no, you know what? I actually appreciate your dedication to the one game, because I tried to be that man for a while. You know what I mean? I tried with Destiny 2 and Hearthstone. My mobile game was Hearthstone. I played it all the time, and I played Destiny 2 all the time. The reason I stopped playing those games was because it got to a point where I was like, I have gotten all I can from this. I have gotten all the enjoyment. Now it's just a chore. And I didn't want my entertainment time to be a chore, so I started playing all these Sony first party movie style third person action games, which are very fun and have very good stories. And now I'm kind of going back to okay, I got stuff going on, what can fill my time?
Yeah, but you don't want to fill it with crap either, though.
Marvel Snap is great.
I'll take a peek at it, but I'll tell you what not to take a peek at, and you'll remember this: Fallout Shelter.
No, you don't understand. Zach, your ugh is like 3 times weaker than my ugh that I'm about to give, because this man played Fallout Shelter for the first year, like every single morning that we lived together, and he had already been playing it for years before that. What his goal was to do everything in the game, to have everything, to have every single location. He wanted 100% Fallout Shelter. And so he tirelessly for hours, wasting days of his life, sat at the couch playing Fallout Shelter for a straight year, even before that for a long time. And I was like, Drew, you can stop anytime. He was like, I hate doing this. And I was like, you can stop anytime and just play a different game. Now, this was right before he started playing Dead by Daylight. And it was...
So you were playing Fallout Shelter on console?
Yes.
Oh, the best way to play it by far. It was the
It's a waste of
jankiest,
screen
worst
space.
game I've ever played in my whole life. And every day I would log in to get every day.
You're not building a case here.
Every day I would play it.
I'm laughing because I hate that game so much now. Looking back, I would log it every day just to get the rewards of one day I'll get all the achievements, right? But I hated every minute of that game. It was the worst. Much like a Jesse Pinkman in Breaking Bad. I could have left
Do not bring
at
that up
any
on live-
point in
live
time.
air.
At any point I could have left, but just a little bit more money. Just a little bit more. And in the end, I didn't even get it. I didn't even get all the achievements. There was too many.
He gave up.
Yeah, I would believe that. So Drew, I don't think we've had this conversation before, and I know this intro is running long, so hold on, folks.
No,
We'll get
we're
to
only at
D&D.
8.5 minutes. We've done 20-minute intros.
Well,
It's fine.
I'm just saying that we're aware of it. Have you played any other Fallout game, or is Fallout Shelter your Fallout?
Well, that's why I was inspired to play Fallout Shelter. Because
I'm so mad.
I played a total of maybe 45 minutes of Fallout 3, and I decided I didn't like it.
45 minutes of Fallout 3 was enough?
But he committed to years of Fallout Shelter.
So you haven't played, Fallout New Vegas?
No.
Fallout 4?
No.
This is how it is.
I'm disgusted. I mean,
It's one thing to be an Elder Scrolls fan and then play Elder Scrolls Blades on the phone for a couple of years because you're so into Elder Scrolls, or to be a Pokemon fan and play Pokemon Masters or Pokemon Go even because you're a big Pokemon fan. This is Drew's first exposure to Fallout.
I feel like I understand the entirety of the series now. I know the plot. I kind of know how it goes after playing Fallout Shelter. It's a wild ride, so
the
I would
single plot
recommend.
that goes across all the games.
building a shelter underground.
You know, I think in some way, some cosmic sort of way, you have the most pure Fallout experience because Fallout isn't about having fun. It's about wasting your time.
Oh, no.
Because I've played so much of Fallout 3, Fallout 4. I haven't gotten to New Vegas. I hear that's the best one. But this is my hot take, and I don't mean to upset everyone on the internet. If you think I'm wrong, email us at tabletalkfriday@gmail.com. I'll fight you. That's a promise if you do it.
Actually, he'll only fight you if you subscribe at the patreon.com/tabletalkfriday. Highest firefighter Eric tier.
But anyway, my trash take is that Bethesda games are just, they're like junk food, you know? Like, I can play Skyrim for 300, 400 hours. I will play it for another 100 hours at least before I die.
Yeah, probably me too.
But, boy, howdy, have I gained nothing by playing Skyrim.
Yeah, no, I gained a lot. I learned to love.
Did you?
Yeah?
I don't know. I think Skyrim kind of got my love for high fantasy. Like things that I got into for D&D because my first exposure to Skyrim was thanks to a subscription to Game Informer magazine provided by my GameStop Power Up Reward subscription. They would give you a free 12-month, well, not free because you're paying their subscription, but you got Game Informer magazines whenever you renewed a yearly subscription for GameStop. And I remember the day I think it was a December issue, maybe, because I would read these things every single month as a kid. Like, I was so into it.
Yeah, no, I had the same setup.
Yeah, one of my first ones was the 2010 or 11 Skyrim cover, Game Informer edition, and it just had the logo for Skyrim on the front. And I remember seeing that magazine and going, what the fuck is this? I was so excited. And so I read through the article. I'm sorry I don't remember the author's name, but going through that article, I got he told the story of how he started up the game where he was a dragon attacked, like him going through creating his character, and then he talked about it asked me, or like the main quest line pointed me here, but I went here instead. And I was like, you can do that in the game? That's so cool. He got to that point, he talked about that, and then he said, I stumbled upon this place in this town, and the one thing I wanted to accomplish is I wanted to figure out how to join the Dark Brotherhood. The Dark Brotherhood is a faction that is present in many of Skyrim's games, or not Skyrim, Elder Scrolls games, and they're basically like shadowy assassin like people. So he was like, I wanted to figure out how to do this, so I just started being a bad guy. And so he started to he did a couple of missions, he killed some people, he ended up in Riften at one point, and stumbled upon Grelod the Grelod the Kind, her mission, assassinated her, got the invitation to the Dark Brotherhood, and that's where the article ended. And I was like, I want to play this game.
Yeah. So I have perfectly fond memories of Skyrim. Because as a kid, now that you mention it, like hearing about Skyrim, it only took like 2 YouTube videos for me before I realized, oh, I need to play this. Because at the same time, Minecraft was getting really big, and games where you had the option to do like what you wanted and like play it the way that your heart desires
and play it forever.
Yeah, like I hadn't been exposed to like a real RPG like D&D. Like my greatest experience with that sort of thing was The Legend of Zelda, where you do everything in order. So
same.
Yeah, no, just the ability to. Me and my brother, we both started playing Skyrim. He got bored killing chickens in Riverwood, and I said, no, I'm gonna go off on this different path. I found like a cave full of vampires, and like I didn't even interact with the main quest for like 30 hours, and then I show up in Whiterun, and I'm like, oh yeah, there was a dragon that attacked a long time ago, and
so
then I realized, oh, I could shout.
Which is one of the coolest things ever, just being able to yell at something and fling them off a cliff. That's sick.
For the viewers' pleasure, Drew got exposed to Skyrim when I lived with him for 2.5 years. And I told him, listen, he was looking for a new game. And I said, listen, you haven't played Skyrim and you need to sink at least a little bit of time into it to kind of understand the game. He did what every single person does. And I was so happy, happy with the way he ended up doing it. He played 20 to 30 hours and said, I feel like I've got the gist of this, and quit. And I felt like that was the most perfectly reasonable way to experience Skyrim. Because what do every time I download Skyrim now? 99% of my experience is download it, play it for 20 to 30 hours, quit. And then I don't come back.
Yeah, that's pretty much my every Skyrim experience. I'll start it up. I probably won't even play it for 20 to 30 hours. I'll play it for 10 hours. I'll get like right on the cusp of the Dragonborn DLC, which I still haven't done yet.
It's good.
And then yeah, that's what I heard. And on my most earnest attempt at playing Skyrim, I was in like 50 hours deep. I was getting like super high level. I just finished all the Dawnguard stuff, and then I got into Dragonborn. And by that time, I don't know if you boys have played Skyrim for an extended period of time.
My first save was like 200 hours.
Yeah, but you start getting up there in hours, and things just like incrementally start breaking while you go.
Yes.
So like there will be like shit. My every time I start anywhere, I'm making a weird magic sound. I have to go into the console commands and turn it off so that I can play like normal. And every time I start, I've got an ice spike in my chest, and I need to change my sex and then change it back so that I don't have an ice spike in my chest. And like this stuff was building up throughout my experience to the point where I got to Dragonborn, and like everything was just crashing every 5 minutes because like I'd built up so many like little things that broke.
I bet that's gotten better with like the newer editions and stuff with the amount of times they've re-released it. But I do totally get you where sometimes I would start up the game and be like, I'm a kid, I don't know what's happening, but it's not working right.
No, yeah. I wish this was in 2020 on Skyrim Special Edition. It is not. It is still broken.
Okay, cool.
I don't know how people play that game for so long, because like Seth was saying, I played it for roughly that 30, maybe 40 hour mark, and I had to end it because everything broke. I had a list like this long, of like my arm long of quests that I couldn't do because the house would disappear, or I went up against
His was broken.
It was awful. I went up against one of the boss. I think it's the boss dragon. The big. I think starts with an A.
Alduin.
Oh yeah, Alduin.
The World Eater or something.
Yeah, no, he ate my world. He definitely did. I went up to the top of that mountain. I fought that man. There was a bug. He was invincible. There was nothing. I looked up videos. I Googled everything. Am I doing something wrong? There's just an invincibility glitch.
Oh, yeah, because you said you really wanted to finish the main quest, right?
Yes, I wanted to finish it so bad. I still never beat him because that quest was bugged where he was always invincible.
You do win.
In the fight. No, you don't. You absolutely do not. I can tell you for experience, you don't win.
Isn't
Wait.
there a phase where he is invincible?
Yeah, like
there is.
When you're on the throat of the world, right? You're all at the top, and he's flying around, and then you have to use the
use the special shout that you have to get. You're right, and drag him down to the ground where he's vulnerable to damage. And that's weird. The damage doesn't go through for some reason while he's
This
lying
was
on the
kinda
ground.
broken.
It was awful.
No, that sounds like Skyrim.
But I made it through. I enjoyed most of it, and I'm glad I did it.
I'm really upset right now because I really want to play that like line of quests leading up to Alduin where you like go into like the dragon realm or whatever and are like fighting all the random dragons that pop up. They're like the weaker ones, so you're fighting like 3 or 4 of them in a row.
I don't remember that at all.
It's like this temple section or whatever. I don't remember that well.
It's towards the beginning of the game where you just want to hunt dragons all the time. You're walking around killing them all.
I'm saying there was like it was like the quest line. I think it was one of the main quests where like you get teleported somewhere else and you fight some dragons on the way to like to Alduin.
Oh, I think you're talking about that lady that helps you around to those different temple spots where they come out of the ground,
Yeah.
right? That's pretty legit.
Well, no, there's that, and then there is the lead up to Alduin where like you fly on the spoilers for the ending of Skyrim. You fly on the back of whatever his name is, but like you
Parthenax.
No, different dragon.
He was cool too.
Yeah, but it's the one that you capture in
Right.
Dragon's
That's
Reach.
so cool.
Yeah, and then you convince him to fly you over to Alduin's whatever, and then you go there and you teleport up to Sovereign Guard, which is like friggin' Valhalla.
That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, and then you go through. You find the ancient Nord warriors of old, and you get like your D&D party together, and then you go fight Alduin.
Yeah, it's so cool. Like, I really want to play that last half of the campaign because I actually think it's really good.
I want to try it, and I want to beat the Dragonborn DLC as well. I committed to it at the very end. I said it was going to be the last thing I ever did, and then about 5 minutes in, it bugged. I couldn't finish the mission, and I turned it off and never turned it back on again.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds about right. Honestly, I don't feel that bad because I feel like somehow, Drew, you're the kind of person that would break the game. You know what I mean?
I don't know. It sounds like Zach was a child and had to change his gender a couple times and had icicles sticking out of his chest. So I think he broke the game.
Yeah, he played for hundreds of hours though.
Yeah, I think it was only around like hour 50,
oh, never
60. But I was like level 50. So I was getting up there.
That's pretty good.
But I've never taken like a Skyrim playthrough to completion. Like my goal is always, all right, this time I'm going to go through all the quests. Get the companions out of the way. That's easy. I'll do the Thieves Guild next because that's my favorite. Eventually we got to squeeze the College of Winterhold in there. I hate that one. I don't care. And then Dark Brotherhood, of course. That's when we get edgy for a little bit. And then I'll go do Dawnguard. And then I'll go do Dragonborn, and then I'll finish the game. But that never happens.
You always get to like Thieves Guild, and you're like, all right, I'm good.
Yeah, exactly. I do the Thieves Guild. I'm like, that's such a great time that I had with this game, and I sure don't want to do College of Winterhold. So I guess it's over.
I hate myself for the amount of times that I've played the College of Winterhold storyline because I despise it. I think it's bad. I don't think it's written that well. Like, what the heck do we even get from it at the end, really? Like,
nothing.
No, I always go through that storyline and I'm like, why did I even do this? But it's because I love magic in those games. I feel like the casting is kind of fun. The conjuration spells give you really cool weapons. Like, I love the conjuration bow. It's like the coolest thing in the game. And so I would always like conjure up a bow and be like ready to go, or like have a one-handed conjuration sword and like a healing spell going. So I always love magic in those games. I'm like, well, which storyline should I do first? The College of Winterhold, the magic school.
Which, now I know my opinion always lines up perfectly with everybody else's. I actually thoroughly enjoyed that that storyline.
You didn't play all of them though, I don't think. All the storylines.
No, but I did all of the Winterhold stuff, I'm pretty sure, and I did it specifically because I played Skyrim incorrectly. And I decided that from level 10 on, or whatever it may be, every time I got a skill point, I dumped it into mana. And so by the time I was level 50,
I remember
I had so much mana. All I had to do was fireball 800 times people to death. It was
I've
greatest way to play.
I've never played that way. And I think that's what I got to do. Next time I play Skyrim,
Drew
I am
was
going to
the
be a
ultimate
real mage.
glass. He was the ultimate glass cannon.
Oh, yeah, one hit dead.
He had like, yeah, but you were one hit too.
Absolutely.
So like, if an enemy got within 5 feet of Drew, done. But like, if he could stay from far away, he could like fire off like a final flash at them.
Highly recommend it, Zach. If you're gonna do it, go for it. It was a blast.
Well, now that sounds like a lot of fun. Every time I play Skyrim, my niche build is I like heavy armor, so I'm going to be wearing heavy armor. But there's no way to play Skyrim if you're not being a stealth archer. So I'm a heavy armor stealth archer.
And you can't escape it because even if you're a mage, you still summon the bow. So no matter what, you're bowing things, you're shooting them. You have to. You're bowing them.
Oh yeah, but what helps out with that is like once you start dumping into magic and you realize you're a glass cannon, it's like, okay, I'll get some conjuration magic and start getting familiars. Well, not only are you now a like a really good spellcasting mage with all your familiars, you're also a freaking archer and like expert with all the other weapons because you have the conjuration versions which scale with your conjuration. It's just the perfect way to play, and I can never justify playing any way else. When I get in the game, I'm like, all right, sword and board this time, baby. I'm gonna go sword and board, and I get the conjuration sword and go, oh, this scales.
Nah, you know what takes the wind out of my sails every time I play Skyrim? I just realized it. It's smithing. Because that's what I spend my entire time doing.
I can see it.
I'm gonna grind my smithing up to level 100. And I do it. And when the game launched, it was so easy to do that. It's not that easy to do that anymore.
Not anymore.
No,
Did they make it harder?
Yeah, because you used to just be able to like make an iron dagger and then like get rid of it and then like make it again and then get rid of it and like just level up your smithing super easy, but not anymore.
Yeah, like all you needed was iron ore to turn into iron ingots and leather strips. You find that shit everywhere. And then you could sell it, and then, you know, then you have the money to like go to the smith and buy more leather strips and iron ingots. And so it's just a never-ending cycle of, all right, war maidens in Whiterun. Now you have 9,000 daggers, and I'm a level 100 smith.
Was it ever worth it? Like, at the end, you get something super cool, like really good armor or a sword?
Yeah,
or...
you can make dragon bone armor, and the secret, actually the best armor, the Daedric armor, which you need the heart of a Daedra to craft the pieces. So
But
that's pretty neat.
That's not necessarily where we want to stick 25 minutes into the podcast. I think what we should do is, one, welcome everyone to TableTalk Friday, a D&D podcast. My name is Seth Pittman, and I am joined by my two best buddies, Andrew Romano and Zachary Carvon. How are you boys doing today?
I'm doing wonderful. Glad to be sitting around a table with the boys. I had a whole lot of business meetings today, and you guys are not in suits, which makes me happy.
I am in a bomber jacket.
It looks good.
Thank
just
you.
not too professional.
Thank you.
yeah. I'm also doing great, I'll say, and I think future Seth. Wow, and you seeing the video, they're just not even paying attention to what I'm saying. But that's fine. Future Seth, you need to make sure that we name this video. The boys talk about Skyrim for 25 minutes, just so everyone knows what they're getting into. But no, I'm having a good day as well. Usually I have more than 3 business meetings, and I didn't have 3 business meetings today, so that's good.
Oh,
It's like
nice.
Freaky Friday. We swapped lives, Zach. You do look better
exactly
today.
What happened? Yeah, exactly.
Well, on today's episode of Table Talk Friday, we're going to be getting into some of our just fun ideas we may or may not have gone to execute yet in D&D. I've got a couple of things I'd like to talk about. I'm sure you boys have thought at least a little bit about some things that maybe you want to do in the future or that you've got going on now. But I would like to start off because I got to do one of these things recently. I just always, you guys know the movie or the book, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo?
I'm familiar.
I know the name.
So, this has nothing to do with that. But
Well, good,
The
because I
title,
didn't know.
The title of that movie/book made me think I really want a tattoo artist who can make, who can like leave dragon marks.
That's such a stupid connection.
Yeah. And so I was like, I really want a tattoo artist who can do that. And I would think about it all the time because I had written this character a while back, like 4 or 5 months probably prior to me introducing it. I was like, man, it would be cool to have like a dragonborn, like that's just like a punk street cool tattoo artist who makes dragon tattoos. And so I started thinking about it a little bit, and I finally got to introduce that character like recently. We didn't get to have as much interaction as we'd like, but I got to introduce it in our last session on the Radiant Citadel.
Which was sick. Didn't she have a mohawk?
Yeah, a purple mohawk.
I've never seen Dragon. First of all, I don't think Dragonborn have hair ever.
This one does.
But that one was super cool. It had a mohawk.
No, in my mind, she didn't have like hair. She had like whatever, like a frill or whatever. Like
Yeah,
okay.
that's close enough. Like in my head, it was like a pointed like cone shaped like mohawk, like spikes down.
Oh yeah,
down.
that works too.
I
But
gotcha,
I
gotcha.
get what you're saying too.
But she was super cool. And we spent all our money on her. So
Good.
We
Yeah.
get 3,
You'll need
4 magic tattoos? How many was that?
Yeah, something like that.
one for everyone except for Hakili.
Yeah, and you guys spent like 12 or 14 hours in a tattoo shop.
Yep.
It's like 100K in magic tattoos.
Yeah, but they're permanent effects.
I know. I'm
Just
just
tattoos.
I'm just thinking now. It's like the level in Doom, right, where you're about to go into a big boss fight, and they just give you all the ammo, right? You find all the rockets, the boxes of shotgun shells on the ground, the hyper armor, everything you need. And you're like, oh, I'm invincible. This is fine. And you go in the next room, and you get obliterated by whatever's in the next room.
I'd also like to mention that after this point, after like getting through last session, I got to planning for the next session, and I had only had time the week before to read through like half of what I'm supposed to be doing for like our current arc we're going on in the Radiant Citadel. And so I read the other half the other day, and I was like, wow, shit, there's a lot more than I thought in here. Like this little story arc, this might take 3 or 4 sessions and not 2. And not 2.
Don't tell me that, Seth. We got to be going to hell ASAP. All right.
We'll get there. We'll get there. I mean, it's going to be fun. It's going to be great. But we have to finish this out because I actually think it's very interesting.
I'm sure it is, and I'm super stoked. But at the same time, send me
I know.
to Nessus.
You're very aware it's a side quest, so it's
Yeah.
like I gotta go.
I kind of want to stall a little bit though, because I feel like we know we're ending this campaign at level 20. So if we go into hell right now, that's 6-7 levels of hell. Literal just hell for that many levels in a row. High stakes, right? That's 14 to 20. So the stuff that we're going to have to fight down there is going to be, what, CR 20, like every time at least? It's going to be insane.
It's going to be awesome. I've got ideas. It's going to be great. There's one specific section that I have planned out in my head that I'm like, oh, I want to get there, but it's not going to be like till later. And so I'm like, I want to get to this spot, but I need to study up on these other spots first.
We'll just rearrange them. We won't know.
No, I want it like I have 1 paragraph descriptions to go off for each layer of hell, and then the rest is up to me. So I've been like I'm gonna do them in order. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
But they're gonna be slightly different, obviously, than what's there for lore because there's not enough for me to really go off of unless I'm going back to like old editions and reading stuff. And I have fun with what I've got in mind, so I want to do that first.
yeah. There's too much info out there for like, yeah, this was in a book at one point, but if you spend all your time reading older books, then by the time you're done, you're like, okay, well, I don't have a single creative thought in my mind anymore.
Right.
I do want to explore the Radiant Citadel a little bit more. I know we've talked about settings a lot fairly recently with, Eberron and Ravnica and all that. We didn't really talk about the Radiant Citadel itself, just the city. It's pretty cool. It feels very high magic, almost like an Everlyn sort of a feel, but also very celestial in a sense. Like we ran into 3 or 4 people, and they were all like, crazy magic tattoo artists, or they were Mordenkainen of Mordenkainen's Tower. Like they were just crazy strong people. So I'd like to see who else is housed within this domain.
There's like a whole culture and lore to that place. It's really cool.
Yeah, the vibes that I'm currently getting from it are very Zeal, Kingdom of Zeal from Chrono Trigger.
Very much like that.
Because, it's a big flying island, first of all, and second of all, magic. And I love Chrono Trigger. And also Netheril is just like that from Forgotten Realms lore. But,
yeah.
But we haven't done that, and we probably won't ever do Netheril. So it'll be the Radiant Citadel.
One thing before we move on, I just have to brag about it to everybody listening. Last session, I cast Plane Shift. That's
yeah,
right.
You did.
I am the coolest motherfucking wizard ever. Oh, my phone buzzed. See, I'm that cool. I'm popular. I'm getting texts right now because I said I cast Plane Shift, guys.
Drew cast Plane Shift?
Yeah.
Somebody call him.
I gotta give him $500 right now.
You should to our Patreon. But legit, guys, get Plane Shift. It's cool. I ripped open a void between time and space with 2 mushrooms, and that's all you need to do it. It's 2 mushrooms.
And it's funny because written in that module, it is like, hey, if a character can cast Plane Shift, you don't have to do this other shit. It says it on there. It's like, hey, if there's a character that can cast Plane Shift, skip to this section. And so I was like, oh, I'm not even going to read this section then.
No, that was so funny, too, because in the session, we're like talking to the quest giver guy. He's like, you have to go through the forest and find the secret town of...
I named off like 5 distinct places.
Yeah, exactly. you must follow my bird. He knows the way. Like, okay, dude. You said it was in the Feywild, right? Later.
Yeah, no, it feels really good to do that too, because I had planned it in my head. I was like, oh, I'm gonna make it seem like they have to go this far. Like, you have to hike it this way. It's gonna be about 5 days travel. You're gonna go through here, through the the Termite Hills or something, like what I called it.
It wasn't good. It was bad.
It was some other place. Like, you gotta go through there, and then you'll like find the rift. And then he was like, unless you can cast Plane Shift. Ha. If only someone could cast Plane Shift.
It's a built-in Uno reverse card in a D&D campaign that I've never thought of.
it was great. I loved that moment where it was like, okay, and now I can end the session because it's been 3 hours, so it won't take us 8 sessions to get through this arc now.
Well, yeah, and that's why I am jealous a little bit of your position, Drew, and also Chase's position, because you're high-level spellcasters. You get things that, like, you know, you get the cheat codes. You get to break the game. Like, yeah, Seth laid out this whole thing for us, but I've got this spell that completely negates that.
And the man who's saying this has 6 attunement slots at max level.
Yeah, I will. Well, and I just got my 5th, so.
Oh, little flex, okay.
Yeah, I've got I'm rocking a 27 AC, and that's... Oh, no, that's with shield. So when I cast shield, I have a 27 AC.
That's insane.
If I'm hasted, that's a 29 AC.
One day I want you to just play an average. This is on the list of things that I'd like to see. I'd like you to play just an average AC person one day.
Yeah, you know, Noman had a shitty AC.
Oh, that's true. Noman did.
But all my characters have a high.
But
AC.
like a druid with 18 or 19, or instead of
Yeah, low.
Yeah,
Low,
well,
18,
I mean,
19 AC.
17 is, I feel like, the lowest Zach will allow himself to go.
It really depends on the character. I mean, if I'm like a barbarian, then I'll rock a 16, or
Yeah.
or if I'm a wizard, I'll rock a 16, or a druid, I'll rock a 16. But I'm always playing.
Yeah,
the
it's
characters
just your
that
play
wear
style,
on.
because I like characters that are just like average to like mid-high AC, but just have so many options.
Well, yeah, and looping this back to our Skyrim discussion, I think that is the thing that I took away is love of like heavy armor. Like
Yeah.
I like the look of it. Once I got into Dark Souls, it was the final nail in the coffin. Like every character I play, I want them to have super cool looking armor. So I can't be a druid because they don't wear armor made of metal. What am I supposed to wear? Fur?
Which I feel like that's one of the biggest problems with wanting that kind of armor in D&D. If you ever play like a fighter or someone that can don that kind of armor, you just want plate immediately, and it's so expensive. You have to go on some grand quest or murder an ancient dragon and get their horde to get this plate armor that you want to wear. And you just want to wear it from the go. You want to have like this cool accented armor that you designed,
Yeah, and I didn't make a big enough stink about it when I got my plate mail as Morrowind, but that was like my number one list on my bucket or the top of my D&D bucket list. So
Yeah, and
I
it's
had
not
to figure
even
out something else.
and it's not even in my memory. Like I don't even remember when it was.
Yeah, no, I mean you allowed me to commission it from a blacksmith in Waterdeep. We didn't even give that guy a name.
Oh man, I nowadays I think I would.
Oh.
Yeah, well, and I didn't tell you how much of a big deal it was for me.
Yeah.
But I was definitely like, yes, I did it. And not only was it plate mail, it was mithril plate mail because Morrowind didn't have a 15 strength.
Yeah.
So we needed the light version.
Still those straight stealth rolls. Still working it out.
Uh-huh.
But as far as AC goes, I'll even tie it into something I would like to do eventually. Not necessarily as a DM, something small. I would really like to rock a full AC build. I've never done something like that. As far as long-term campaigns, I've only ever played a rogue and a wizard. My wizard has some sort of awful garbage AC. It's like a 13 or a 4. Like it's not good without mage armor. It's really bad. But I have ways to teleport and move around. I'm very mobile, right? It's not a big deal if I get hit because I'm just going to get away the next turn, right? Or as a rogue, I had, uncanny dodge, right? I can have the damage. I have evasion. I could just dive out of the way of the fireball coming at me. But I would love to play someone with just like a 30 AC. I bet I could do it. There's a lot of spells out now, and even with the addition of, I think they have, what was it, Fizzband spell, Platinum Shield. Someone's Platinum Shield gives you like a +2,
Shield of Faith.
+5.
Someone can cast Shield of Faith on you.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can do Blade Song, cast Shield at the same time.
Haste.
Yeah, you can you rock a +3 Ring of Protection somehow.
Oh my gosh.
And a Cloak of Protection.
Yeah, or go Artificer, so you're making your own things, so you got multiple.
I feel like I'd have to make multiple attunement slots of defensive things like Bracers of Defense and Rings of Protection.
Of course, +5 Dex.
Oh, no, absolutely, absolutely. But I think it would be sick to never have to worry about getting hit, except for making saving throws, of course, which I could work around that. Or I could even tack things on top of that, like like Sanctuary, where people have to roll wisdom saves
just
to see if
have
they hit me
evasion.
first. See, but I've already done that. I have to do all the things, Seth.
Yeah,
Well,
no,
so
I get it.
but here's the thing. Just like you were saying, you need other things besides a high AC, and that's what I'm learning. Because no matter what, like I always have a high AC, but I still don't feel powerful enough because a high AC doesn't protect you from a fireball, and so that's always my undoing. Is they don't need to hit you, Zach. You have a +1 to Dex, so here you go.
Yeah, you're not going to get protected from a Hellfire Pillar, right?
Yeah, exactly. Hellfire Pillar again. I'm dead.
I feel like you'd just be the ultimate tank. I want to feel that powerful one time. And while I've felt powerful other ways in other roles, playing barbarians with 200 hit points or so, I think a 30, 35, some crazy A's, just abomination of an AC, just one time, even for one fight, would be sick. I want to stick with it for a little
I
while.
can feel that.
I feel like that's not like an inachievable like magic item. Like I don't know. It'd have to be like a globe of AC or something, and like
Well, you wouldn't
it's
call
a
it armor
consumable.
class. It would be something that like represents armor class. So
A globe of shielding.
a globe of shielding or something like that. It gives you like an abjuration ward, so that literally you're invulnerable, basically.
Yeah,
but
something like that would work.
if something is focused enough, it can pierce through it. Is just a magical force field, so it is possible to get through it still. But you have to have like perfect, like you almost have to sync it with like the hertz of the magical field like buzzing around you. So like if you time it just perfectly and it's just fast enough, you can hit someone.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah,
I mean?
yeah.
So at AC so high that you have to actually be in tune with the weave itself to hit somebody.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not busted at all. Totally,
well, only,
totally
but no,
fine.
but as like a consumable item. You know what I
That
mean?
would be
Like
sick.
a not like a potion. It would need to be something cooler than that. But like maybe it's like an artificer's like bead, like an abjuration bead, and they throw it on, like kind of like what Oswin does when he casts shield. So one of his beads is just like ultra focused. He gets it one time, throws it down, boom. I have 30 AC for the next 1 minute.
It almost makes me think of like the parrying kind of ability, which is very small. It's just like a little +2 as a reaction to your AC to make a shot miss. But instead of doing a +2, just having like for not 6 seconds, for the rest of that turn, maybe someone else's turn, you get full cover. And they couldn't hit you with a ranged attack or something like that. You could deflect one missile. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Something small. It's not even AC based, but you wouldn't get hit for sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'd like to talk about something that I've been sitting on for a while.
Yes.
So what we'll see with a lot of my ideas that I haven't used yet is I still want to use them. So there's a couple that I'm not gonna share. My best idea, I'm saving it. It's
Good.
gonna come up in Salt Marsh at some point, and we're gonna continue Salt Marsh at least long enough for us to do this thing.
Did you just tease us on camera, Zach?
I did.
That's
I'm
messed
very
up.
excited. I have to play Elijah again. He's one of my favorite characters.
But in any case, a lot of my ideas are sort of half-baked, where it's like, oh, well, wouldn't it be cool if, but I don't have like a great way of fitting it into an adventure. So maybe you guys can help me out with this. Have you heard of the Library of Babel?
Kind
No.
of.
Yeah, so it's like this thought experiment, like a theoretical idea of the idea of if you put a room full of monkeys, give them all a typewriter, eventually one of them will
Yes.
write Shakespeare. So it's like if those monkeys wrote absolutely everything in every order that it could possibly be written, and there's a library filled with just books and books and books of like every possible arrangement of every like letter and number in like all possibilities. So you fill a library with this. I want this to be like a plane that you can travel to, and I want its master to be a lich that's like given himself lichdom so that he can live forever and read every book in the Library of Babel.
That's so fucking cool.
Yeah, but how do you fit it into an adventure? How do you force your players into an infinite expanse of like there's like a popular version of it where it's like just a series of like hexagonal rooms every wall has books on it, and then you can, there's an exit through like the front, the back, and then I believe there's also like a hole in the middle of the room, so you could go up and down too. But it's just like this infinite expanse of books.
So I'm going to say this now, so that way you know now that I didn't steal this and use it. I have a very similar idea in the works for hell.
Okay. We'll say no more, but it's a great idea, isn't it?
But the owner is not a lich, and that's all I'll say.
Okay. Say no more.
This is why I didn't want to do this episode today. We talked about this very briefly before we decided to do this episode, and I just knew that Seth would steal one of Zach's ideas steal one of my ideas. You just wait. I'm gonna call you out on your bluff when the time comes.
No, I'll show you the page that inspired me in a different book if it makes you feel better, because I'll show you when the time comes to prove it, because there is one paragraph that inspired it, and it's not the Library of Babel, but it's pretty much the same thing.
I do have a question about it. Is the Babel, like the Library of Babel, is it a scary place? Because it makes me think of, for any Doom fans out there, one of the biggest levels in the original Doom is the Tower of Babel, which I think has biblical significance.
Yeah.
But you run around this giant pillar, and the cyber demon shows himself to you, which is the almighty boss of the game, pretty much, besides the Spider Mastermind. But it's sick, and he makes this horrific, awful metal clanking sound, and you can never see him. He's always on the other side of the tower. So it makes me think of this horrifying, like, clicking noise. We're going to go insane in this crazy library. Does it have a horror theme to it?
Not inherently, but I mean, if you were inside the Library of Babel, I mean, that's a liminal space. I know that's popular right now. We could talk about liminal spaces. Is
that a thing right now?
Yeah. What, do you not know about liminal spaces?
No.
Oh, it's like well, it's too much to explain.
Yeah, explain it to him, Zach. He really needs to learn what this is. Please explain it to him.
So the idea of a liminal space is just like if you've ever seen an abandoned like office building where like you expect desks and cubicles to be everywhere, but there's nothing in it, and it feels weird and empty. Or like if you've gone to like a school after hours and there's no one there, or like a shopping mall when all the stores are closed. It's like that feeling of the just familiarity, but something's off. And so it's like a popular horror meme right now is the idea of like the back rooms. I don't know if you've heard about the back rooms, but like an infinite expanse of just this liminal space, and just being in that in and of itself is horrifying. And then people have to ruin it by saying, "Ooh, there's a monster in here." But
I hate it whenever words like that start to get used so much, like, because then liminal's going to start meaning like TikTok or meme to me.
Yeah, exactly.
And I like to hear it once and be like, oh, that's an interesting concept, because the way you just explained it to me is brilliant, but I'm going to look it up later, and then I'm going to hear it every day, and I'm going to go, okay, well, now it's like a thing.
yeah, exactly. Because the first time I heard about liminal spaces, it was earlier this year, I think. There was like a YouTube video by Solar Sands. He brought up this idea. I thought, how original. I'm sure that this will be a short fad. No one's going to talk about this again. But now it's everything in my feed is, ooh, look at this liminal space.
Well, I had this thought earlier today. Can I tell you one other thing that has been ruined for me that's like that? The word algorithm. Because so many people, when talking about social media runs on an algorithm, where things get popular based on how many clicks they get, and there's a certain algorithm that goes behind it to make people click on those things. And I've heard that word so much over the past like year or two, especially content creators talking about it, just being online, and people talking about like, well, like I did this for the algorithm. And that word only means like influencer to me now.
Oh,
yeah, I know. Like every time that I hear that word, I see Ludwig's face, like in front of my eyes.
Now every time I hear this word, I'm gonna think about Ludwig roaming the back rooms, just walking around like with stupid commentary.
Algorithm. You're in the middle of like an empty cafeteria, and you just hear Ludwig's voice. Algorithm.
doing a 30-day stream in the back rooms, just walking around, doing absolutely nothing. That would be good. That'd be
Jeez.
good. I will pitch one other. I know we're running a little high on time, but
No, we can keep going. I'm having
since
fun.
you guys had cool ones,
Yeah, I mean, I've got tons of ideas, so this is gonna be a 3-hour episode. Don't you worry.
I'm gonna only give one more idea because I don't want you guys stealing all my ideas. And I gave a poopy AC idea. Well, you guys went all philosophical and used the word algorithm
And babble.
So I have a few favorite types of creatures in D&D. And I've stated it pretty clearly on the podcast a few times that I have some clear favorites. I want more than anything, and I'll backstep just for one moment though. In a million different campaigns, stories, one-offs, one of the greatest moments is being bamboozled. Right? The king is a dragon, or I don't know, your mentor is actually some evil wizard, necromancer kind of stuff. Right? I love that. And what I want to do is run a campaign or a short series of one-offs based around illusion and trickery. And what I want to do that with is a coven of hags really, really badly. I love the idea that the campaign or the story starts out that their first adventure, their first quest, somehow ticks off this group of hags, or maybe just one of them, and it talks bad to the rest of them. So this coven of hags' job at this point is to extort the adventurers, to make their lives miserable and hard going forward. So as you go through some adventure of yours, whatever the DM has come up with, whatever module it may be, the entire time the hags begin taking people's places. They start murdering their friends and taking their place in disguise, right? They become the political leader of the town they're in, slowly changing and warping the way that the story works, but from behind the scenes, and they have to catch them and maybe kill all of them one by one until the coven's gone. I think it would be legit. There's a lot of workshopping I can have to do, but I love the idea of just a trickery-based campaign.
Dude, imagine pulling the first player to the side and saying, hey, we're going to RP something out here really quick, and your character is essentially dead. But here's what you're going to do. And revealing that, because I think the first person I would do is I would grab Zach, and I would say, Zach, we're going to do this.
Okay.
And Zach...
Rest in peace, Oswald.
Yeah, exactly. And Zach would be like, yeah, okay, I'm along for the ride. And then I would hit up Sean, and I'd be like, okay, Sean, we're going to do this. Like, Zach's already in on it, now you're in on it. And then, one by one, tell everybody, or tell them until there's one player left, right? And then the last player, we go to finish you go to finish the campaign, and everybody turns to that player who's left and doesn't know.
I can't. That's too much stress.
Could you imagine?
I mean, at the same time, though, like, that's so long for, like, a great bit. But, like, that'd be such a time commitment to, like, have that go on for more than, one session, maybe two max.
No, it's like one person per 2 sessions. Dang. I'm thinking 2 or 3 sessions per person.
Yeah, I mean, there's a ton of awesome, like, body snatching, disguising, different things that you can do. And so that was another one of my ideas. For this episode, I dusted off my old DM notes from college. So that's what I'm pulling from. I remember I had written down, just do something with doppelgangers.
Oh, yeah.
Because I love the idea of, the person that you run into isn't who you expect. And I was even going somewhere with that in Eberron with the chameleon Casanova. He was a changeling, and so he was changing his appearance. I don't want to spoil too much, but you might have already met him.
No,
you can't say that to us, Zach. I'm not gonna sleep tonight now.
So freaking cool.
So anyway, that's an awesome idea, but it takes so much prep. And I pulled the same shit in Curse of Strahd. Seth, you'll remember. I won't spoil anything for Drew, but it's never not a good reveal. So it's definitely worthwhile to plant a character who isn't who they are, and let the players figure it out,
or a whole coven of them.
Well, I kind of like stuff like that with the with Intellect Devourer, where it's like,
yeah, exactly,
especially because Intellect Devourers sometimes have relation to Mind Flayers and whatnot. So it would be really cool to have someone be part of Mind Flayer hive mind for a long time or something like that. And then, they eventually lead the rest of the party there where, the story, like some of the story goes down.
Yeah, that's one of my my back pocket character ideas is if I'm going to do like an aberrant mind sorcerer, my character is just an intellect devourer. It's taken over the body of this person, and an intellect devourer is inherently evil, but like what happens when you get a body and you're like, you experience personhood? Maybe an intellect devourer can become a person, sort of like and I haven't revealed this on the podcast yet or told you in person, like in Peacemaker. I don't know if you guys have seen Peacemaker on HBO.
I've thought about watching it many times.
I haven't seen Suicide Squad or the other one, the other Suicide Squad, but I'll tell you what.
The newer one's good.
Yeah, and so is Peacemaker. And so anyway, there's something cool with the villain, the monster in that show is basically like a bunch of intellect devourers. So anyway,
cool.
I won't spoil anything else, but definitely an interesting idea though. Like your character is taken over by an intellect devourer, but now so what am I?
See, now I know I shouldn't have said anything because now any campaign I plan with you guys, you're going to be trying to trick me with something. There's going to be doppelgangers and mimics and fake people.
Which brings me to my one thing that I really, really have been wanting to do. And it's just like a very general thing. I just want to have like a very long campaign where like a character just slowly becomes beloved, right? Like you guys, love them. Maybe one of you guys like, romances them, hangs out with them a lot.
Like an NPC.
An NPC
Okay.
that you guys like fall in love with. Like this is the guy, you know what I mean? And then I want them to rip your heartstrings out like no other. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I don't know who it's going to be or how it's going to happen. That's all I want.
You already did it to us, Seth. Do you know that?
No.
Harshnag is still in our hearts
He
today.
didn't rip your heartstrings
He
out, though.
did.
I need it to mean so much to you guys. Like, I can't believe you did this to us.
It was really disappointing. But yeah, it's not the moment you're talking about.
No. I want to destroy your mental state.
I don't want to play for you anymore. I'm only having Zach run games from now on.
I know, because that will be one of those moments that you're like, I cannot believe that happened all that time ago.
I don't think you understand. I will lie awake for hours in my bed trying to sleep thinking about this.
That is what I want.
No,
That is what
that's
I want.
evil.
No, wait. Thinking about until it happens?
No, even after it
That's what I'm
happened. Yes.
saying. After it happened, that's what I want. I want a couple of days where it's hard to sleep.
Seth, I play D&D for fun. You can't The Last of Us 2 me.
That's what I want. It's going to happen. You guys are going to get The Last of Us 2.
That game, I don't mean to talk lightly of serious issues, so I'll adjust my wording. But that game left serious effects on me.
Yeah, like
long after
a pit in your brain.
Yeah, like I was just sad for like a month. And then I'd be going about my day. I'd be doing just fine, and then something in my mind would like remind me.
No,
and I think about the end of The Last of Us 2.
You went through a breakup, dude.
Yeah, honestly,
I've been there, man.
Yeah, but amazing game. I loved it.
You're washing the
it was
dishes. You
great.
think about when she washed the dishes.
Oh no!
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the best way to put it. The Last of Us 2 broke up with me.
In one day, I will break up with you guys, and that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna destroy your hearts.
Thank you. I can do it again. I won't play The Last of Us 2 again because she and I are over. But we can do it with D&D.
We might have to redo our old How to Be a Good DM episode and just say the only real thing you need to do is torment the crap out of your players and destroy their souls from the inside, and you'll be a good DM.
No. First, you have to build up trust with your players, and then you rip it out from under them. So,
and that is exactly what I'm saying here, guys. You don't understand how badly I want to have such I respect The Last of Us storytelling so much because of what it did to me. And like a lot of these, really big storylines that happen, I'm so into like the narrative that I want to have that effect at least once. I don't know when it's going to happen. It probably won't be anytime soon. Might be. We'll find out. Like I don't know, but it will happen. So just be ready.
You're the reason people put up like inspirational posters in their house or get tattoos of like hope on their arm. You're the reason.
I feel like there are other much worse things than Seth ruining something in D&D.
I don't know. It could
I
very
don't
well
think
be that
that's
second
ruining
Last of
it,
Us moment.
honestly.
Well, yeah, no, honestly, but
If something does have that kind of effect on you, it must have been a really good time leading up to that, huh?
that's true.
Was it worth it though? I don't know.
Yes,
I don't know.
absolutely.
Oh, I don't want to play D anymore. I really don't.
Listen, I've played some of the best games in my life this year, like some of my favorite games like ever, and I don't remember half of them. Like I played 13 Sentinels this year, and I don't remember like anything because nothing. Like there were a lot of like little drop moments that I'm like, oh man, I do remember that, but like I don't think about 13 Sentinels anymore. You know, I still think about The Last of Us 2 to this day. So I want to be The Last of Us 2 one day.
I think you can do it.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, just put your mind to it.
I just don't want it. If you're going to Last of Us 2, do it with somebody else. Do it to Zach. Don't do it to me.
Well, yeah, maybe I'll just like kill off your character.
Oh, that is so much better. Please make me that one character that you kill off. That would be easier to take.
Yeah, we almost had that moment, huh? Whenever Pyth almost died.
Yeah. Honestly, I almost wish that you did kill him because what an effect that would have had on.
It's your fault.
Yeah.
That he's alive.
You took away another great experience, Zach.
No,
How
I
do you
think it was.
feel?
I think it's made the experience into what it is now.
Oh, absolutely.
It was very strong emotionally at the time. I remember pacing back and forth for quite some time after that, getting pissed about it.
Oh yeah. Okay. Do you have another one, Drew or Zach?
Yeah, I've got a couple. None of them are as great as doppelganger, hags or anything like that. But I will say I've got an idea for a monster. I haven't statted it out yet. But just something in my back pocket that I've been holding on to. It's another horror themed thing. They're called the Lacking. I'm thinking it's like an undead creature or a construct, so like either made of like bone or metal that takes the corpses of its victims and like grafts little pieces of them onto their bodies, but they're like clearly off. I was inspired by there's a particular figure. Again, I don't know why I'm going in this direction today, but it was a painting by Hieronymus Bosch. I'm sure you guys are very familiar with Hieronymus Bosch.
Yeah, I know a lot of
he's
Mr.
my
Bosch.
favorite artist.
A Renaissance painter. He just did like a bunch of like horrible horror themed like things. It was mostly like depictions of hell. But one of his figures, it's like a obviously like a spindly little thing. With I've got a picture of it here. Let me see if I can pull it up.
I don't like this at all. You should
like
just stop.
Yeah, it's got like a human face on it.
I'm starting to get scared.
It's not as scary as I'm making it sound.
Okay. Okay, it's less scary than I thought.
But yeah, it's like a
It's spooky though.
But you see like it's obviously like a human mask that it's wearing. So something like that, like an undead that wants like to be whole again. So they like a skeleton that puts faces on, or that sort of thing.
Do you think they'd be more powerful like once they're formed, or would they never be fully formed? They just keep grafting things onto their body.
Honestly, it sounds sort of like a Sorrow Sworn situation. So they probably are powerful in that they're grafting things onto their body. And it's not even like grafting. I don't want to say like grafting like Elden Ring, like Godric. Yeah, they don't need like multiple arms. They just want the skin of someone else so that they can look like normal.
That's worse,
man.
Zach. That's worse.
Wild.
Yeah.
One thing that has been in my back pocket since I started Storm King's Thunder, that I've just kind of had like in my mind is a character or an NPC or someone along the way who has and is just an ancient dragon polymorphed, just like someone who you interact with normally. So, and I've always wanted to reveal that a character was that, or like bring that out at some point, and I've just never really gotten the chance. I can't think of a time that I've actually gotten to do it.
Well, that's a long con. It takes a while to get there,
Yeah, exactly. And I've always wanted to do it. I won't say you guys haven't met any ancient dragons, But I also won't say that you have. But
I'm sure you're talking about the ones we've killed.
no. I'm just saying that I'm not saying you haven't met any polymorph ancient dragons in your path. But you may have, and who knows?
I don't like this.
Yeah. So, but all I'm saying is I've always wanted, and this is like the opposite side because in my head they're not necessarily like people who you're gonna fight or kill. It's just like, okay, this could be like it could be a gold dragon that's just like living amongst people because it wants to, or like a descendant of Bahamut who is like protecting and keeping watch, something like that. It doesn't necessarily mean a bad thing. So I've always wanted to do that on the opposite end of the like, oh yeah, I want to like tear your heartstrings away with a good character making it bad or like dying or something. On the opposite side, I've always wanted to reveal like, oh yeah, I mean, I'm here. Man, who would we possibly turn to in a moment like this? Oh, I'm an ancient dragon.
Yeah. I've wanted to do something similar with a genie for the longest time too. But I'm too scared to like bring a genie into my campaign because my players are smarter than me, and will find a way. Like even though I thought of everything, and clearly they're not gonna wish for something that derails my campaign, but that's exactly what's gonna happen. So
if you always want to do it more lightly, or you want to maybe not give them the chance to have the genie per se right away, you could always put the genie in a little lamp or a little trinket that they have for a long period of time. Maybe it's even one of their starting pieces of equipment that they don't know about. And unless they interact with it a very specific way, it doesn't happen. And so at the end of the campaign, you could reveal to them the whole time that their short sword they've been using since, level 1, if they just rubbed it a certain way, or if they investigated it a certain sense, they would have had a genie, 3 wishes.
That's crazy.
I think, is that it, boys? Is that the coolest things we could think of?
I'm sure there's plenty else that I can like bring up, but honestly, there are a lot of things I would like to keep in my back pocket. But at the same time, like I have and am getting to play some of the like when I have gotten to play some of the coolest characters I've gotten to go with. I'm playing my warlock druidic character, Muse in like our other set of one-offs. Elijah is a really fun character because he is literally just like a growing teenager who's like struggling with identity, and I like that. I'm like, oh, I grew up, so I want to try that kind of character. And he kind of reminds me of Pyth, but in a very different way, where it's like, okay, he's got his own things to go through, and so I'm like, oh, I like that person struggling through youth.
Yeah, where Pyth has a 20 intelligence, Elijah has a 3.
Yeah, but Elijah is very athletic, and you know. In general, things like that, characters. I was more so talking about like characterization wise.
Oh, for sure.
Because he has like an intense identity crisis that I don't want to get into here. But yeah, I've gotten to play a lot of the characters that I want to play, and I still have some in like that I'm like really interested in seeing all the way through. But DM wise, my biggest accomplishment and the thing that I think is going to be insane when we get to the end of it is right now I'm doing one of those things like. I'm writing a campaign so you guys can take down Asmodeus.
Is that a scary thought, though?
Or lose to him. That's very possible.
We'll probably lose. We're going to be level 20 and die to Asmodeus.
Is it a scary thought? Yeah, because I'm like, oh, do I want to do Asmodeus justice, right? But at the same time, I wanted to do something in this campaign that would kind of shake up the world in where you're at. So it's like, okay, well, if what can we do to shake up the world a little bit? Well, we put a little hiatus on the blood war by making things actually worse in Avernus. We got our city back, but things are actually kind of worse down there right now. And then so we already shook up that plane. Asmodeus is really, really angry, and now he might somehow be usurped. That would be crazy, right? So
God. But is that scary from like an achievement standpoint? Because we're talking about these things that we really want to do long term in D&D, right? So something we would love to just have a piece of one day. And one of the answers you're giving is, I'm currently doing one of them.
Yeah.
Right? Like, how are you going to top that next time or the next time? How many good campaigns do you have left, Seth?
It doesn't necessarily have to be topped, I think that it's like, okay, that's a crazy achievement, but like next campaign, I'm not thinking like, okay, well, we did Asmodeus, now we have to take down Lathander for some reason. Like, I'm not thinking that. I'm thinking in how can I tell a good story? And I felt like starting out with Descent into Avernus, you guys got involved, right? All you wanted to do was get down there and solve the problem. You solved the problem and you did it. But it comes with consequences. And so it's like, okay, well, we wanted to play these characters to level 20. What's a way we can do that and still tell a good story? Well, we found it. So, like, for the next time, I just want to tell a good story. I don't care if it's going to take us to level 20 or not. So it doesn't necessarily have to be this, crazy, gigantic, world-ending stake. It just needs to be, a good story.
Agreed.
All right. I'll match the energy. I like it. But the next campaign does have to be bigger, though.
No.
Level 21.
Well, you already know what the next campaign is.
We're doing Spelljammer.
We're doing a space opera.
Which will take us back in time, so we have to redo our previous campaign, making it bigger because we did more beforehand.
I have so badly wanted to do a space opera, so I'm more stoked than you could imagine to do Spelljammer. I love space operas.
I don't want to try anything new anymore. You guys have just spooked me this whole podcast. For the last hour and 10 minutes, you guys have been spooking me, making me think I'm going to get tricked or murdered or my heart ripped out.
Drew, it's going to be great. And before we wrap this episode, because I know that's where we're headed, I do just want to scare you one more time with another one of my fucked up ideas, which would be... you all remember that scene from Game of Thrones? I forget the name of the guy, but they pour a bunch of molten gold on him.
Yes.
And they kill him that way.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
My... idea for an idea for like the big bad evil guy of a campaign that I've had for a long time is like a dwarven king, and the way that like he deals with his enemies is like he takes them into his throne room and then he makes like a golden statue out of each of them by pouring or dunking them in molten metal or molten gold. And just like, and then like you show up as the adventuring party and you come into this throne room full of like these weird gold statues and you're like, what the fuck's this? And then of course like he makes an example of the NPC that you brought with you because of course, and then you gotta deal with that guy.
Oh,
it's like a twisted Medusa King Midas kind of mashup. I feel like.
Exactly.
That's very spooky, and I don't like it at all. You shouldn't do that.
Well, I probably won't now that I've brought it up, but...
And with that, thank you so much for joining us this week on TableTalk Friday, a D&D podcast. Where can you find us? On patreon.com/TableTalk Friday, where you can subscribe and get bonus show content, episodes a week early, and plenty of other benefits that you can check out on patreon.com/TableTalk Friday. You can also send us emails and inquiries at tabletalkfriday@gmail.com. You can find us on TikTok at TableTalk Friday, YouTube at TableTalk Friday, and Twitter at TableTalk Friday. Now, please, would the man of gold please take us out?
It's I, the man of gold. I used to have all my gold, but I spent it all on TableTalk Friday at patreon.com. I used to have all this gold, but now I'm ruined because I've spent all my money. But you should spend your money at TableTalk Friday. Gold is an outdated concept. All our money's in the cloud now. So while I don't have any gold anymore, I still have money. So you should spend your gold money at Patreon. Subscribe to my Patreon.